Bartholomew Perez.
Juanita G.
And we've talked a lot about pre-approvals and why it's important to have a pre-approval versus pre-qualification. Really, because when it comes down to it, one is more preparation than the other, right?
Absolutely.
And because of that, once you have it, it's equally important to make sure that our buyers are not mortgage broke. So, what does that mean, and how do we prevent that, Juanita?
That is actually a very strong question because, I mean, that's the question that we're asked all the
Absolutely.
time. You know, I want to buy a house, but I don't think I can afford it, or I don't want to be mortgage broke.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, what does that mean? I mean, at the end of the day, it just means that you don't want to be living paycheck to paycheck, and you're basically just living to pay your mortgage. That's basically what it means. And obviously, we don't want that for anybody.
Sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, right? But how many people do we know that without a mortgage are living that nightmare?
That's right.
Living paycheck to paycheck.
Absolutely.
I mean, without the ability or opportunity to be able to increase their savings through equity that is built in owning a home.
Absolutely.
Because you see, at the end of the day, it's important to understand that we're always going to need somewhere to live. Always. Whether it's our own home, which is our own mortgage, or somebody else's. So we're going to be paying somebody's mortgage regardless how we want to paint the picture.
That's right.
So depending on how much you're paying, right, is what can determine, you know, how much you want to pay for a home. But think about it as a long-term investment, because even if you pay more on your own mortgage, you now have rights. You have rights to that property. You have benefits, and you have increased, you know, savings that's building through equity on that property. For example, if you've been renting in the same place, in the same home for the last 5 years, let's say. Most people 5, 10 years, even 20 years. Let's say 5 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. I mean, you have helped that owner, that landlord,
Seriously.
gain over hundreds of thousands in equity.
Yes.
That could be going into your pocket. I mean, so at the end of the day, I think the more important question, Bartholomew, is, are you ready to make some changes in your life to be able to put you on track to homeownership?
Because is this more of a savings issue or is this a spending issue?
Wow. That's a whole other topic, because I see bank statements all day long. I see W-2s. I see pay stubs.
The money lady.
The money is there. But the issue that I see is the priorities.
Priorities, okay.
I mean, the priorities. You know, everybody's getting thrown the latest and best and latest. I mean, the iPhone just came out, the new this, I mean, so people just tend to like, oh, I want the newest and latest.
Absolutely.
But does the old one still work? I mean, do you really need it?
That's the thing.
Do you need it or do you want it? I mean, really, it comes down to prioritizing, because, I mean, I've got people that make like $10,000 a month in income that can afford a, let's just say, you know, so even if you make $10,000 in income, right? Let's say you take home about 7,000, right? Depending on what your tax bracket is, say 8,000. So you cut 8,000 in half, that's 4,000, right? 4,000 can go to a mortgage.
Absolutely.
And you still have another 4,000 to save or spend, right? I mean, think about that.
That's right.
I mean, so if you're spending $4,000 on a mortgage, is that making you mortgage broke? Knowing that you have another 4,000?
That's right.
Not really.
If you're prioritizing what you have left over, then it shouldn't be an issue. But that's why we think about these things beforehand, so it doesn't happen to our clients, because we want you, it's important to get the property, but it's even more important to be able to keep it.
Keep the property.
The last thing we want to hear is, Bartholomew, Juanita Bartholomew, I can't make my payments, what do I do? It's going to happen. We don't want to hear it.
Okay.
We don't want to hear it, because we want to prevent that.
Right. But if it does happen, you know, we're here to help.
Absolutely.
Because it's inevitable. I mean, and a lot of times, sometimes it also happens because there's a death in the family. You lose an income.
God forbid,
Somebody got laid off. There's a divorce. I mean, those are valid reasons.
Absolutely.
But if it's just you know,
negligence.
If it's just living above your means, I mean, hey, you know what? We all deserve a second chance.
Yeah, live your best life within your means.
Absolutely. So, I mean, mortgage, you know, broke, that's
important topic.
That's an important topic, and that's the reason why knowing your numbers, you know, even if you are not ready to, you know, get out there and go shopping.
Sure.
But if you know that you want to own a home one day, it's basically just game plan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's never too early to start.
Ever.
To figure out exactly where you are now, and we can figure out where we want to be.
That's right.
I mean, we do this with clients all day long.
All day long.
I mean, I have clients that were closing on from 3-4 years ago. You know, I mean, the last I checked, you know, housing is not going to go out of style. You're
That's
always
right.
going to need somewhere to live.
You need a place to live.
So we'll be here today, tomorrow, 5, 10, 20 years from now.
Yeah.
You know, whenever you're ready is when, you know, we can definitely move forward.
Absolutely. We're here to help.